Hey guys, welcome to the Fool Show. Of course, I'm Foolish Phil. Thanks for stopping by. It is Friday, so let's get some picks in. Last week, went 13-2 on my picks out of the 15 games. That brings my season total to 56-29. 56-29. So if I get a good week this week, I can get up, like good 30 picks over 500. That'd be pretty cool. So let's get to the picks. Flip them over. There they are. Okay. Starting in the Big Ten. Tough one tonight, Friday night, 8 o'clock. Indiana at Minnesota. Indiana is one of those teams that's kind of a bubble team, right? Last week, they played good against Penn State, but they lose. Whereas Minnesota has lost like 3 or 4 games in a row, and they lost last week to Nebraska. I'm going to take Indiana, even though it's on the road at night. I'm taking Indiana to win that one. Wisconsin over Northwestern. Northwestern, you don't know what you're going to get. Wisconsin's a mid-level team, like 15 to 20 range, 10 to 20 range. So I take Wisconsin there. Purdue over Michigan State. I don't know. I've seen people, betting people, like Michigan State's like favored in this game. What are you people watching? If Purdue doesn't win by multiple touchdowns, I am shocked. Word is Brian Lewerke's not going to play. I just don't see what you're going to do, Michigan State. You can't run the ball. You couldn't throw the ball. Maybe your backups can throw the ball. You will have a defense. Don't get me wrong. Your front 7 defense was really good. It limited Michigan to 183 yards rushing, I think. So your rush defense was pretty good. That's what your defense kept you in the game, Michigan State. But I just don't see you having offense. And Purdue is just explosive offensively. I don't know if they're going to curtail it back. The weather's not supposed to be too bad tomorrow like it was last week in East Lansing. This one was really tough. Penn State and Iowa. I honestly think Iowa's going to win the game, but then I go back and forth, and so I'm going to take Penn State to win the game. It's just a tough game, and it's just an example of how winning versus ranked teams is difficult. I know when the Harbaugh story came out of how Michigan couldn't win on the road, then other teams were put up there, like how often they went on the road, and they weren't many times by Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, how they don't win against ranked teams very much on the road. Ohio State clearly is the exception to that rule, as they seem to be often. So I'm taking Penn State to beat Iowa. Maryland over Illinois. We'll see. Maryland, you look kind of good, then you look like junk. How are you going to look this week? I hope Maryland wins that. Then we have Nebraska over Bethune-Coleman or something like that. This is like a remake for their game that got canceled due to the lightning storm, their first game of the year. So they just filled that in here. Oh, big games nationally. The Cocktail Bowl, as they call it, or whatever. The biggest cocktail party, whatever. Georgia and Florida. Apparently Georgia can run the ball. Florida's not very good at running the ball, stopping the runs, so I guess I'll take Georgia. Out in the Pac-12, you got Stanford and Washington State. I think Stanford at home, night game, is going to pull this out. Washington State had the big win last week. I think they're kind of a little high on that. They'll be a little bit unfocused, and I think Washington State will lose it. Going to the NFL. Picking the NFC North games here. LA over Green Bay. No big deal. Detroit, I'm going to actually think they win this game versus Seattle. I'll tell you why. Teams coming all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast time zone do not do very well on 1 p.m. starts. There's nothing that great about Seattle. They're right on that bubble team of wild card. Maybe win the division, probably not this year with the Rams, who are so good down there. But I think they'll struggle. Their offensive line doesn't look that great. Maybe we can get some pass rush. Maybe we won't get Gash running, and then it's Russell Wilson, right? And I'll take our secondary versus Russell Wilson. So Detroit over San Antonio. Sunday night game. New Orleans over Minnesota. I just think New Orleans is just flying high. They should have won that game last year, the playoff game, but they didn't. The last second play where the cornerback just whiffed on the tackle. So I think New Orleans wins this game. And Monday night, I don't know how this is the Monday night game. New England over Buffalo. I mean, New England does not lose to Buffalo. They just don't. And Buffalo is just not doing anything great. True, they came up and they beat Minnesota, I think it was, but they've like already benched their rookie quarterback, and I just don't know what they're even doing in Buffalo. So New England to win that. So there are my picks. Nothing too big, nothing too shocking, but that's just what I think. Any games you're looking forward to? What do you think is the biggest game for Michigan to want to have happen? I would say it's Iowa and Penn State. It'd be great if it goes like 5, 6, 7 overtimes. Really tires out both teams. I just want a really hard-hitting game so that Penn State kind of gets softened up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of nice. Look, Michigan has a bye week. Just rest, recover. Let Penn State go and get, beat up by Iowa. Hopefully that happens. All right. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, put them in the link below. And if you really like it, give it a thumbs up. Thanks, as always, for watching. And go Blue!